Two former police officers are now on trial for beating death of a mentally ill homeless man in California.
My fist? Yeah, what about him? He's getting ready to you up. Right here. I'm sorry! I'm sorry! What's happening? Put your hands on your...
The officers are facing charges from involuntary manslaughter to murder in the death of Kelly Thomas. 2 years ago, officers were seen on video punching and kicking the man at a bus depot. They say the man had been acting violently. Another camera caught the reaction of witnesses nearby.
The cops are kicking this poor guy over there. All these cops.
What happened?
I have no idea. I didn't know what the guy did. They were pulling his hair, kicking the out of it.
Really?
Yeah. And he's all full of blood.
In the video of the beating, Kelly Thomas can be heard screaming out for his father. Ron Thomas spoke with Joey Chin on America Tonight about his son's last moments.
He cried out, "Dad," 32 times for me to be there to help save him. And at 37 years old, as he was dying, he just slowly said, "Daddy, they're killing me." And I live with that every night. And it just horrifies me that they took my son away. See, it doesn't matter that he was mentally ill to me. He was my son, and they brutally murdered him.
Let's bring in Al Jazeera's legal contributor, Jami Floyd, who's been following this case. So after you watch the video, and I know you've got more information on it, is this a really tough case for the defense?
Yes, John. It's a very, very tough case for the defense, and I say that as a former criminal defense attorney in California. The video, and your viewers can go and watch it, and I don't generally do this, but in this case I will. I suggest that viewers go and watch this video for themselves. It's not for children. It's not for anyone who can't handle a very, very tough video to watch, but it can be found on YouTube, and it's now part of the public record because it was presented by the district attorney in Fullerton as part of a 3-day preliminary hearing. The district attorney argued that these police officers, John, should be prosecuted. You just played a short, and you could feel very emotionally powerful clip, but the actual videotape of the beating and the beating itself went on for a very, very long time, endless minutes, as this man was beaten to death. And in fact, John, he didn't die there. He died days later in the hospital.
This is interesting. You say it's important to watch. Why?
Well, as the jury will have to determine, because of course these police officers are innocent until proved guilty, but you can hear him apologizing over and over again for not initially doing as officers asked, saying, I'm sorry, and agreeing to then do as they asked. He does plead for his life. He does ask for his father, as you heard Ron Thomas say, and he's a small man. Initially there was 1 officer, then 2, then 6 officers. And all of this can be seen so plainly on the videotape. It is reminiscent, John, of Rodney King, although race is not an issue in this case. And the technology has now made it very, very difficult for rogue officers to hide from the eyes of their own law, right, from the eyes of a jury.
So what case does the defense make?
Well, the defense has 2 arguments. One, that he was acting violently, irrationally, that they were within the bounds of the law, to answer your initial question, that they applied the rules and regulations as they had been taught. And secondly, the defense says that it wasn't officer actions that led to his death. They're making a causation argument, that in fact it was negligent treatment, they say, by medics and by the hospital that led ultimately to his death, not anything that happened at the beating.
I mean, clearly these situations can be very difficult for police officers, and I assume that's what the defense will make that case as well.
Yes, yes, and it is true, and we have to acknowledge, John, that we have increasing homelessness, especially in this recession. We have fewer and fewer services for the mentally ill. We have an intersection between homelessness and mental illness, and increasingly we call upon law enforcement to deal with issues that really are social services and mental health issues, and they're not trained necessarily to deal with those issues, so we put them in very stressful situations all the time. But that does not excuse the kind of beating that this man received.
And you say California is most difficult in that situation. I mean,
yes, yes.
That you've got a lot of homeless people in California.
Even when I was practicing law years ago, before I came to this business of journalism and legal analysis, many of my clients as a public defender were accused of crimes largely because they were mentally ill and homeless. And the criminal justice system is becoming a last-ditch effort to treat issues that are really issues of social services and mental health.
Jami, thanks for your insight. It's good to see you.
My pleasure, John.